Hello YouTube, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Daily Blizzard upload. This is Trap vs. Dark in the semifinals of the IEM World Championship held in Katowice in 2015. This is a ZVP on Catallena LE Ladder Edition. Now, this is a Trap from an earlier series that I cast between Trap and... I don't quite remember right now, but Trap is a really good Protoss player. He has many different strategies. He's really good at scouting, and I think he will give Dark a lot of problems based on the match history that I have seen. We're going to speed this up just a little bit, just because the production is just macroing up. I will slow it down if there's anything like a proxy pylon or a proxy hatchery going down. The Overlord is scouting out, but he's going to the wrong location, but even doing that will show him that Trap is not at that location and tell him by default that Trap is up to the north instead. So here we are, Dark is just macroing up. He's up to 15 supply. Or are we going to go 15 hatch against a Protoss player as skilled as Trap? And it looks like we are exactly at 300 minerals. The 15 hatch goes down. We do have a quick gateway going down for Trap, and no forge fast expand for him. He is planning on maybe doing a little bit of early harassment or getting some pressure on, which might be good to see against a Zerg player who's going hatch first. A pylon does go down early here for Trap, but I think drones might be able to take it down. There are 4 drones right now patrolling back and forth, trying to kill this probe, trying to prevent any cannons from going down, but there is not a forge at all at this point. There it goes right into Nexus, so no cannons can happen. I believe this is just a bluff tactic from Zest, trying to get Dark to pull as many drones as he can, just scare him to thinking a cannon rush is coming when there is not one at all. So immediately gateway into Nexus, into Cybernetics core, and that's pretty much all we're going to see from Trap. So no cannon rushing, no crazy shenanigans with a proxy gateway or anything weird like that. We are instead just going to see a pylon just to bluff a bit. And back at home, we are macroing as usual with the second Nexus. Second gas is going down for Trap. The Cyber Core is just finished now. And let's see what we're going to do next along the tech path. A quick Bob warping in. I think he's just going to try to hold down the front here. I believe these gaps are big enough for Zerglings to slip through. So his job is just going to be to prevent those Zerglings from getting on into the base. A single Zergling tasked with taking down this pylon. It's not a threat right now, but you don't want anything warping in unsuspecting right at your front door, so he needs to take that down immediately. Even the warp gate is pretty far from finishing. A chrono boost on that Zealot does plug that up, as well as a Stalker is coming out as well. Zergling scouting around, just seeing what he can see, trying to do some probe harassment. Maybe able to kill this. No, the probe does escape with 10 hit points, now down to 5. Can he get it? Oh, the Zergling instead jukes out Bob, forced him out of his spot, goes right into the main to do some scouting. So well played there, Zergling. It is good to see you getting the information that you need for the swarm. Just scouting around, checking it out. This Mothership Core will probably kill him before you can get too much good information. Yes, the Zergling does go down before seeing if it's going to be a Stargate or a Robo, or whatever else the Protoss can do in this particular situation. So we do have a bit of a push moving out with the Zealot and the Stalker. I don't see a forward pylon, although the Mothership Core is coming along, checking for the presence of a third for the Zerg, maybe going to try to deny it. Instead, the third is going down right here, which is not where Zest, or rather Trap, expected it to be, as I am calling him Zest from the previous Protoss player that I cast a best of 5 series of. Down here, an Overlord is scouting, and I think he will scout this proxy Stargate. He does. He picks it up immediately. If we look, yes, he sees it. I don't know if... No, Trap does not see that Overlord. So as far as he knows, this Stargate has been undetected. But meanwhile, some harassment going down to the third base. There's a Zealot, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core going to town on this third. Some Slowlings coming in, trying to do some damage. Speed is not anywhere close to being done. I don't think they're going to be able to save this third. It's probably going to go down. But meanwhile, a bunch of Slowlings are heading right up to the Nexus, the expansion Nexus. They're going to get a quick surround on this Stalker and kill it. Next, they're going to try to get a surround on that Sentry. Oh no, a force field goes off just in time, preventing those Zerglings from getting in. They're going to town on the pylon, though, but a gateway is behind, helping to block. As soon as this force field finishes, though, second sentry doesn't warp in quite in time, immediately gets picked off. Probes are being forced to pull off the line to deal with the Zergling counterattack, and they do manage to clean it up. But losing a sentry, losing a pylon, the third base, however, does go down and is taken out for Dark. So an unfortunate turn of events for him, but a fortunate turn of events up top. We need to get a force field down quickly from the sentry, and it does not. But another sentry pops out and might be focused down by the Zerglings, but instead they're going after probes. This Zergling trying to take down the sentry is not able to do so. That single force field enough to prevent those slowlings from doing too much damage that are now quicklings, actually. We have an Oracle and another Oracle popping out, again, entirely scouted by this Overlord from Dark. So, well played by him, getting the lucky scout on that proxy. I suppose that could be a popular location to get proxies out for Protoss players. We have 2 Queens and a Spore Crawler ready, though, at this base. Spore Crawler does not get any hits off. A Spore in the mineral line, as well as a Queen, might be enough to prevent too much harassment from these Oracles. But Oracle does pick up 2 kills. Friend picks up 1 kill. Moving along the back of the natural, 4 kills on that now. Again, 1 Spore in the mineral line along with the Queen supporting, I think is all that Dark needs to really hold these 2 off. We do have Zerglings popping in, depowering this Stargate by killing the pylon. No more Oracles will be built. More Speedlings coming along, checking for the presence of a third base for the Protoss player. Recognizes there is no such thing. This Overlord will probably be scouting fairly soon. Meanwhile, more Oracle harassment coming in. 6 kills. And 2 kills for his buddy. One is a mentor, one is a disciple. So fairly effective. When we look at the income tab, it is 50 harvesters to 48. So the Protoss player is ahead, largely thanks to that harassment, I believe. So the Oracles may have paid for themselves. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, we have more and more gateways going down. We have Blink Stalkers being researched at the Twilight Council for the Zerg player. So Trap is interested in going Blink Stalker along with a whole lot of sentries, which will be good against these Zerglings. Meanwhile, the Zerg player is working on a Hydralisk Den and really just getting gas up, getting workers up, trying to saturate this third base, trying to do what he can to be ready for the attack that must be coming soon. Upgraded Carapace level 1 coming down. A whole lot of, sentries and a Zealots and Mothership Core do get scouted out by a Zergling. The creep spread is pretty good. It's going to take a while. For the reveal does come down on the Oracles. They can scout down these creep tumors, but it's going to take a while for the Zerg player to really feel comfortable with this army at his front door. At the same time, the Protoss player is going to take some time to clear out this creep. He doesn't want to be caught on the middle of it unawares, although feeling comfortable enough to push right up into the middle of it. We'll have to see if these roaches are enough to do enough damage to kill this push, or if the Protoss player is going to be able to succeed. It looks like he's not interested in doing a prolonged fight here. We might see a warp back home. The Queens are trying to take down the Mothership Core. More warp-ins coming in, more force fields coming up. This is a pretty scary army from Trap at this point. Overseer might get picked off, and he does by the retreating Protoss army. Mothership Core goes down. That's a big pickup for Dark. And Trap's forward pylon is destroyed. The push was rebuffed thanks to that +1 armor on those roaches and some good Queen micro as well. We are immediately respreading the creep. Dark recognizes how strong that is. We are pooping creep here at the third base, or what could be a third base for Trap. Just trying to ensure that nothing untoward happens. Yes, the third base does not get taken by the Protoss player quite yet. The army comes in to shoo away this Overlord, but it will take a while for that creep to recede. So the probe wants to build a nexus there, but is not able to do so quite yet. Scouting Zerglings take down another forward pylon for Trap. The Oracles are scouting around, seeing what they can see. Yes, checking that it is basically a roach army for the Zerg player, coming in to kill a couple more workers. 11 kills and 6 kills on those Oracles, still alive. Able to pick up some transferring drones as well. A good pickup for Trap. Yep, one is a mentor with 8 kills, and the other one is up to an instructor with 11 kills. We do not have any more upgrades going down for Dark. There are no more bases. We're pretty much happy to be 3 base at this point to the 2 base for the Protoss. And a scouting Zergling again, trying to take down a pylon, but a warping in Zealots enough to prevent that from happening too much. Stalkers moving in, sentries moving in, a couple Zealots as well, Oracles to support, but we do have a lot of roaches with that +1 upgrade, and 4 Queens, which is a little bit more effective than you would think. Based on, you know, their job is mainly to inject and to spread creep, but they can hit pretty hard, especially against air units, and these Oracles are definitely air units. Might get sniped here. No, good micro from Trap. The force fields go down, pushing away most of the roaches. They're not able to attack anything, getting some free kills by retreating roaches that aren't attacking. I think Dark was just trying to get Trap to use some force fields there in a situation that he didn't want to. The third base is going down by Trap. So economically, he will be on even footing with the Zerg player here pretty soon. I believe one of the Oracles might have died doing some... Yeah, there were some attacks here, but I believe... Oh, okay, it's just Trap's hallucinated Phoenix doing some scouting, checking out exactly what is happening. There are no Hydralisks. This is just Roachling. We do have the... Is that drop being researched for the Zerg player? I believe that was. I don't know. We'll have to see what it is a little bit later. Dark moving in with the Roaches. Zergling scouting out. Is there a fourth base for the Zerg player? And there is not. Oracle with 11 kills, swooping around, checking for the presence of a fourth base. For the Zerg player, I believe he'll be coming in here pretty soon. There's a hatchery on its way to be built. An Warp Prism drop-in as these Zealots get right into the mineral line and begin killing workers. There are only 2 queens here in response. Dark is able to pull his workers away fairly quickly. These queens, if microed correctly, will be enough to take out this Zealot force, especially throwing down the Transfuse on the Spore Crawler. They want to kill the Spore Crawler so that more Oracles can come in and do more harassment. The Warp Prism did warp in another group, picks them up, takes them away safely, tries to get the fungal off. Yes, Infestors do fungal down the Warp Prism, and it gets taken down by the Queens. Well done with the Infestors. I haven't seen those in a ZBP for a while, so that really saved a lot of money for Dark. Cost Trap quite a bit. We have an Ultralisk Cavern going down for the Zerg player, so huge play on his part. Ultralisks can be good. They are good at destroying force fields, but any Immortals on the field, even a lot of Zealots, are enough to soak up that damage that the Ultralisks can do. So what do we have? More gateways going down, cannon in the back for our Protoss player here at his third base. I don't think much interested in taking a fourth anytime soon. 3 base may be enough to win this game. We'll have to see what he chooses to do quickly, and we do have extended thermal lance going down for the Colossus, and we do have Immortals warping in, so we're going to have a good composition from the Protoss player versus what we're seeing from Dark. So I think we might need, yes, another fourth base. The fourth base has gone down now. I think we need more gas in order to support this Ultralisk heavy composition, depending on how many Ultras there are needed. But Zerglings popping up here to the natural, trying to focus down a gateway, not quite able to do so. Another huge attack from Roaches here at the third, but the recall here at the third is enough to hold that off. Meanwhile, the Zerglings trying desperately to get into the second base, into the natural, but they're not able to do so quite yet. Immortal chasing them away, Zealots chasing them away, Colossus coming over with their +3 attack now and the extended thermal lance. They will roast an infinite number of Zerglings. Pylon is able to be taken down. Roaches moving in behind. The Photon Overcharge goes down, preventing the Roaches from getting too many kills, but they do kill 1 probe, 2 probes, 3 probes. Now trying to focus down the Assimilator and another probe that gets a little bit too close. Roaches coming in to clean it up. Photon Overcharge with 1 kill and 2 kills now. The army from Trap is moving on out. They're going to try to... Yes, they do separate the Roach army from the rest of this swarm to get a bunch of free kills there. A small force of Zerglings and Roaches get a single Stalker, but that is just a moral victory. It's not exactly what Dark wants to see at this point in the game. Infestation Pit is still down. Ultralisk Chitinous Plating being introduced. And so that will make the Ultralisk a little bit stronger. Right now they have 2/2 upgrades, which is pretty good. And I don't know, I think this army's a little bit too big for Trap. Ultralisk's going in first. Queen's coming in as well. Zerglings trying to attack. This Ultralisk trapped in the back, not able to do enough damage. The Ultralisks, though, staying alive a little bit better than I expected. The Immortal is gone. As we zoom out to see how this is working, Ultralisks really up front, smashing down Colossus, taking down Stalkers that can't blink away. The blink up to the high ground and walk up to the high ground is very good for our Protoss player, able to keep those Ultralisks from really pressing their advantage. But I think now we need to see many more Immortals going down for our Protoss player. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. Supplies at 173 to 110, so Dark has a pretty big advantage there. I think those Ultralisks may have caught our Protoss player by surprise. You don't see them very often in a ZVP match, just because, again, Immortals do really well against them. Zealots do pretty well against them as well. Dark Templar attack coming up here to the third base. Going to snipe down the Spore Crawler immediately, and then go to town on this third before an Overseer can be morphed in. We'll have to see what happens. Overseer is almost complete, only about 25% done. Transfusing the hatchery, trying to keep it alive. Here come the Overseers, and the Dark Templar go down. without being able to snipe that third. So I think maybe Trap got a little bit greedy there, trying to take the third base down instead of just going for workers, which would have been a more confirmed kill and helped him in the economy a little bit more. We have 57 Harvesters to 55 for our Zerg player. He's not interested in getting many more than those, although a Dark Templar is coming up around to the 4th base. We'll have to see what happens here. Yep, now going after the workers on the gas, a really good choice. These Zerglings trying to take down a pylon, but choosing not to. Instead, the 2-2 upgrades there. We are upgrading 3 attack at that evolution chamber. And I'm just not sure what we're going to see next. We did clean up the Dark Templar. We do have 4 armor now for the Ultralisks, which is pretty nice to see. Pylon up on top. A fairly small army, all things said and done. Archons being made, 2 Immortals. I think Dark might be able to take this down based on what he has. We'll have to see if he is feeling confident enough to do so. He is. He's coming right down the ramp. He's going to try to sandwich this army between these two, the Zerglings and the Ultralisks, but instead Trap backs off very smartly. He doesn't want to be caught out into the open. We do have a Spore Crawler going down and two Spine Crawlers going down to prevent any more Dark Templar shenanigans. Again, the same thing here at the 3rd base. And a major engagement here. Ultralisks right at the front, taking down an Immortal. Trying to take down another Immortal here, and it does get sniped down. 3rd Immortal might die, but 3 Immortals in the back doing a ton of damage. The Queen's transfusing where they can, but it's not quite enough. We still have a Colossus, we still have 3 Immortals, and 2 Archons, and a bunch of Blink Stalkers. The Queens are going to die. The supply is 115 to 112. This is a very close game between Zerg and Protoss. We don't know quite what to expect. Dark moving along with the Queen, maybe over to do some injecting here at this base, moving the Queen up to this base as well. A push, an immediate counterattack with this Colossus, Stalker, Immortal, Archon push. Will it be enough to take down this 4th base? I don't know. We have probes coming up. Are they going to help in this attack? I don't know what to expect. Sitting right on the creep, knowing that Dark knows exactly what's going on. Ultralisks are about to pop. They're not quite there yet. Yes, now they are starting to come out. And there they are, just at the last second. Immortals in the back, though, are going to do a lot of damage here. Is it enough for these Colossus, for these Ultralisks to do a lot of damage in the front while getting pummeled from the back? No, unfortunately, is not enough, but a couple Ultralisks from the back doing huge damage to these Stalkers. These Queens transfusing as best they can. No, the Colossus does not go down with 34 kills. Finally, it does. This Stalker army is cleaned up. They're going to try to escape, but I think the Zerglings will be able to chase them down. And we might eventually see Dark win this game, but no, he backs out. Protoss has not chosen to take a 4th base quite yet. It's mined out in his main, is basically mined out in his natural. The 3rd base does have a lot of minerals, but it's still only 1 mining base to essentially 2 mining bases for the Zerg player and a 5th base going down for Dark. He's feeling very confident in his ability to win this game and to take out any attacks that might come from Trap. Trap is sending Dark Templars trying to even the score here. But again, there are the 2 Spine Crawlers. There is the Spore Crawler. They're going to go right for the hatchery, try to kill it before they are destroyed. And yes, they are able to snipe the hatchery, but both of them die in the process. And a 3rd Dark Templar cleared up as well. Trap calls the GG, and Dark takes game 1 fairly convincingly in what was a really good back and forth game, though. Until the very end, I wasn't sure who was going to win. So very exciting play from both of these players. I'm excited to cast the rest of this series. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button, hit subscribe there on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/FalconPaladin. And until next time, this is Falcon Paladin, and you take care of yourself.